Alright, I think there will be 3 or 4 videos after the day 50 of 50 video to wrap things up on the dealing series. Then gonna get back into playing some poker and making videos like that. Today, mosts and leasts. Try to center myself in the camera here. Put mosts on, let's put mosts on that side and leasts on that side. First, hours in a day on the clock. The least, an hour 43 minutes. That was the day of the Raz tournament. The first, which was the 4 o'clock. The first tournament of the day was just a no limit. There weren't a lot of people. We did, like, you know, a lot of breaks. They kept a lot of people on in case it got busy for a couple hours, and there were not late registering players really. So they sent some people home, randomly drew. I got sent home. I asked, do you need people to come back at 4 for the Raz? The guy said, don't think so, but if we send the email, then yeah, or you could call and check, and never got the email. So that was that. 12 hours 31 minutes is the longest day. That was the day where I dealt one of the main event flights, then went to cash briefly, then went back to deal the main event, and I was on a table. I was fortunate for me to be on a table when the day 1 ended, and then we had to bag, which took a while, so it gave me a lot more time on the clock. 12 hours 31 minutes, the longest day. No limit downs, but not zero. Of course, there were days where the 11 a.m. tournament, the first tournament of the day, was a tournament that was not hold'em, and I pretty much just dealt that all day. So besides the zeros, the least amount of no limit hold'em tournament downs I dealt in a day, 1. Don't remember that day, you know, vividly, but I saw in the records I keep, you know, there was a 1. And the most, a 22 towards the end. This was like the final week or something. It was just, after the main event, there were, I think, 6 of the final 10 days only had no limit tournaments. So there was a day where I just was on the clock for a long time, dealt a lot of no limit, and there was some great timing. My table for the 11 a.m. broke at like the perfect time when like a down was just starting, and I closed the table, went up to the desk, and he said, we don't have a push in that next tournament, go push that table. And now I was dealing that tournament. So 22 downs is the most. Same thing but for mixed games, and mixed games just means any tournament that's not no limit hold'em. So the fewest was 1. Don't remember that day vividly either. The most was 16. That was early on. That was a horse tournament, and it was the 11 a.m. tournament. It was the first tournament of the day, and I was just dealing that for a long time. That might have been the day where I dealt Alan Kessler's knockout hand in Omaha 8. That definitely happened. I'm pretty sure this was the same day where I was just dealing horse all day till they told me they didn't need me anymore, and everything I dealt was horse tournament, and I got 16 downs in. Cash, the fewest is 2, which was that annoying day where I was about to be dealing a tournament during dinner break, which means just sitting there doing nothing while players are on dinner break, but I'm getting paid as if I'm dealing, and they had me go to cash very briefly. The first down I didn't even count because it took so long for players to show, and then I had to give everyone chips. By the time I actually started dealing it, I got 2 or 3 hands in, and then the push came. So I dealt those 2 or 3 hands, and then I dealt 2 actual downs, and then cash told me they didn't need me anymore because I was at 8 hours on the day. They can't really keep me longer than that. And then I went back to tournaments and I kept dealing. But the shortest, the fewest, 2, the most, 10. And that happened 3 separate times, where very early in the day they realized the tournament was slow, but they had me deal cash, and I was dealing cash for a large chunk of the day, and got 10 downs in, a down 30 minutes, got 10 downs in 3 separate times dealing cash. And money, everyone's favorite thing, as you watch this baseball game start behind me. The smallest amount of money I made in a day, $58.97, which was on that shortest day, which was an hour 43 minutes that I mentioned earlier. And the most money I made in a day, actually, not gonna tell you, because these actually 3-4 videos after the day 50 of 50 video transition very well from one video to the next. So the most money I made in a day, I'm gonna break it down for you, not just tell you the number, I'm gonna tell you what I was dealing in order to get that much money in a day, and that is gonna be tomorrow's video. And remember, rice is a spoon food.